Hi, my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. It's Friday. So it is Sewcialites Day. It is the monthly Make-A-Wish. So we have Make-A-Wish block and a couple other things. So first, let's just get the holiday, the celebration of today. It is Coffee Cake Day. So I don't know if you love coffee cakes. To me, a coffee cake is more like a crumb cake, where it's like a white cake that's denser, and then you have the cinnamon crumble on the top of it. I think of that as a classic coffee cake. Well, I have to tell you that one of my early jobs in computers, I worked for Drake's Cakes. And for those of you who know Drake's Cakes, they're like a tasty cake, a similar type of company. And they were based in New Jersey. They sold a lot in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, kind of that area. And I worked in the plant as a programmer, computer programmer, and so we had like a business offices, but most of the place was the manufacturing. And they made, one of the products they made there was the coffee cakes. They also made the yodels, if you're familiar with the yodels. But the coffee cakes, the guy who did like supplies and errands and shipping and all that, he would go down to the bake line and bring coffee cakes and put them on our desk, warm off the bake line. They were in the package, but they were still warm. So this is the best. I think I gained 10 pounds as soon as I got there. Oh my goodness, it was crazy. But it was so fun. It was fun to work at a place that made a product. I always enjoyed that when I got to work at a company like that. There was like a physical product that you could see. That was fun. Okay, so go to my kitchen group, Kitchen Adventures with Pat Sloan at Facebook, and talk about coffee cake today. Okay, first let me just do this part. One of our friends notified me that the wheel blocks in here, these circles, these actually could be directional. There is, like one could have these two reversed, so that when they're over across from each other, that they would be directional. And so let me just do a little clip side by side here. So here we go. One of our friends pointed out that I did not mirror image the wheels, and I didn't even think of it, even though the book, actually the diagrams showed it. But I'm pretty much going by the cover, and on the cover they are not, in the real quilt, they are not mirror imaged. And so that's pretty much what I was looking at. They're not mirror imaged for the blue ones either. But in the book they are, because they just took the digital image and flipped it. Technology-wise, it's so easy. You make one side, then you just flip it to the other. So mine will be just like the cover. And if you happen to have mirror imaged yours, it will be like the diagrams. So one of the interesting things is I looked at the cover of the book, which I've got here, and the cover of the book, the actual physical quilt, they were not reversed. They're identical, just like mine. Inside, in the patterns, in the little bitty diagrams that we were following, of course, they did flip. They did have them flip. So if you look here, you can see. There we go. See, they had them flipped. I didn't notice it. I made mine both the same. I am not a real symmetrical person. I'm sure you've noticed that. Symmetry is not my thing. And so it took me a while to even figure out what was going on, like what was the message here. But now I see it. So I am making mine just like the original quilt and not like the book directions for those circles, the blades on them. Anyways, for those of you who are doing your thing super symmetrical and really enjoy that, then just note, because obviously I didn't notice at all when I was making them to be able to tell you, so this is kind of a back note to you if you haven't gotten there yet, or if you care. So anyway, I just thought I would get you up to date on that. What I want to do now is talk about one other thing that's really important for me anyways, and then we'll go into the two sew-alongs, Make-A-Wish and the Sewcialites. So first of all, I wanted to give you a status on my books. As you know, and I mentioned earlier, or maybe you didn't know, is my publisher, my current publisher, Martingale, announced in December of last year that they would be closing their company. They are an employee-owned company. And so instead of putting the company up for sale to be purchased by another publisher, the board of directors for the company decided that the best thing for them to do was to actually dissolve the company and close it, which means all of their assets, all the things, the books, all the digital files for the books, all of that need to be sold off. And that means they would be splintered out into different places unless somebody offered to buy them all, which isn't what happened. So they're basically selling things here, selling things there of their, of our, books, of the physical products. So what does that mean for my books? I did 10 books with Martingale. Prior to that, I was with Leisure Arts. I did about 18 books with Leisure Arts, 10 books with Martingale. So my 10 books with Martingale, I did not purchase them. I decided I am not a publisher. I don't wish to be a publisher. I don't wish to go that route. And so I did not purchase my, my books. I did not purchase the physical books or the digital anything. And so I've waited to see if somebody would pick them up. And I'm really pleased that two of my books will continue on as of today. Now the company still has not quite closed down. Martingale is, there's this chance somebody might buy some of my other books, another publisher. But as of right now, 2 of my books will live on. The rest will just go into an out-of-print status. They will just be out of print. Just like an older book before that was never digitized of mine, it's out of print. All the physical books were sold from Leisure Arts. Leisure Arts only made some of them into digital books. The ones they did not are just gone. Same with the ones, a couple I did for the magazines. I did, those books were short-lived and they're gone. And that's just the way of the world for books. And I'm totally okay with that. I mean, it's just the way it is. So my books that will stay on will be these 2. So I am super thrilled that my beginner book will live on and be available for shops and teachers to use as you are now, or if you haven't been using it, you will be able to. And my tabletopper book is the other one that they selected to purchase. So these 2 books will still be in print in physical books. Now, they have to do some editing, a little bit of editing to take out and the prior publisher's information and put their publishing information in here. Otherwise, the content will be exactly the same. Covers will be exactly the same. It'll just say C&T inside and has C&T contact. It'll be on their website. It'll be on their website fairly soon, the 2 books, and they will take pre-orders. But the physical books will be like August. I'm just saying August. For the one, the tabletoppers will come out first, and then the beginner book will come out. So that is what the status is of my books. I sure wish, yes, everything would stay in print. That would be a perfect world, but it's not. That no books ever stay in print forever. Even, like I said, even my Leisure Arts ones, some of them are totally out of print. They never digitized them into a digital book. That company is still in business, of course, so those books can still be, I still have a lot of digital books there that can be purchased. So I'm very grateful for C&T, and I'm very happy to join the C&T publishing family. It's very exciting. I've worked with them for many years in other aspects, especially when I did the podcast for 10 years. I worked with them and their marketing people mostly to get their authors and their books and talk about it on my podcast and things like that. So I'm really thrilled. I know a lot of the people that are there. Of course, a lot of them are not there that I used to work with. So I'm very, very excited about working with C&T and happy that 2 of my books as of today will still be in print. And I'll keep you updated if anything changes, and if somehow another book happens to be picked up by somebody and is in print, I will let you know. Okay, let's go on to, I'm going to pick this up, hold on, before I forget it's down there. All right, we're going to go on to Make-A-Wish. Make-A-Wish is a project that, it's a charity sew along that I'm doing with Fat Quarter Shop. And Make-A-Wish is an organization that actually provides a wish for a ill child. So people apply, generally they're very ill children, and so they have, like, they want to go to Disneyland, or they want to you know, take a plane ride, or some sort of wish like that, and the donations go towards making those happen. And it is done in a regional area. So this Make-A-Wish that we're supporting is the one that is near the Fat Quarter Shop, so that Kimberly Jolly and Kevin Jolly and their staff can be part of some of the presentations to the families. So it's a very local type thing, but it's a world organization, Make-A-Wish. So we're doing, let me just pop up a picture. So this is what the quilt looks like, and we're doing parts. Every month there's a new part, and you make a donation to Make-A-Wish, and then the patterns are all free, so you download them. So let me just show you mine for this month. Did I say weekly? It's monthly. If I said weekly, that was a mistake. It's monthly. So there are 4 units like this. So I got one of them done. We're going to go on the other side of the table then. I'll just talk about it a little bit. But then there's also this month that you do the center. So here is the center and the 4, and they're, you know, they're going to be like this. I'm going to put these up with the baskets on my wall here so we can look at it. So exciting. I have a lot of parts for the other 3 of these ready to sew, or a little bit of it sewn, but I ran out of minutes getting ready for the video. So I will be making those and showing them as soon as they're finished here in the next day or so. Let me put these up on the wall with the baskets, and then I'll be right back. Here they all are that I've gotten so far. This was last month's, and then we have the center for this month plus 4 of these, which will go like here. And I'll be getting those done. I have a lot of it in progress, so I'll be getting it done over the next few days, and I'll put them all up so we can see them. This is spectacular. It's a really nice size quilt, and we still then will have 2 weeks for this section. There are 2 parts, and then the backing, so which is pieced with some butterflies. So beautiful. The quilt is called Bountiful, and this is what the first page of the chart is for today, and you can download it from the Fat Quarter Shop. And if you hadn't made a donation yet, you can go ahead and do that at the same time. There's a link in the description box here and at my website for the project page for this and for today at the article. So I'm using, ooh, squeaky camera. I'm using this bundle of blue fabric from French General, which is the design company. It's called Bleu de France, and it is just gorgeous. It made such a beautiful basket. And what I had talked about early on was that I thought I might add in a few more colors. And so I did. I decided for these that I would bring in a little bit of this sort of charcoal, a little pop of yellow, and a little bit of green now, so that it just breaks up the blue a little bit, but there's still a strong focus on the blue. Now I have one of these units, and each of them will have different flowers. So let me just show you that, because I've got parts. Lots of parts in progress here. Now Kimberly is sewing this on her website, the Fat Quarter Shop, or her YouTube channel, the Fat Quarter Shop YouTube channel. Kimberly Jolly is sewing these, so if you want to see all of that and get any tips from her. Now I did accomplish all of the tops here for the tulips, and so they're all going to be a little bit different fabric. Because I think, and they'll be different for the body of the blue flower down below as well. So that'll also be different. So here you can see, so I've got, there we go. So these are the other blue, dark blue tulips that are in here. And then, and I've got parts in progress, the lower leaves. And I sewed a bunch of this stuff when I was making that the first tall block. And then over here are the other flowers, 2 sets. So I've got them all ready to go. And there's a lot of sew and flips, just saying, a lot of them, to get all that really nice definition in these blocks. And so here are my other combinations. And then I'm using that little bit of this grunge, which is also from the French General. No, I'm sorry, that's basic gray. So grunge, and then a little bit of this green, which is a fabric I've had for a while. I believe it was a Kim Deal fabric. And so I've had that a while, and that'll be the green leaves. Now, after all of these are done, there will be some butterflies and some other big flowers for the following weeks. And I do want to tell you to be on your A game for cutting your shapes out, because there are quite a few sizes that are cut it like 4 1/4, or cut it just 5, not 5 and anything. And it's easy. Our brains tend to go, I don't know, maybe you're different than me, but my brain tends to go 2 1/2, 3 1/2, 4 1/2. You're using a full number for all the shapes, and then mixing them up. There might be one that's 2 and by 2 1/4. So you need to be on your A game, because I wasn't, and I have a couple of things that are the wrong size. And then I adjusted them and they were still the wrong size, because I'd done more than one cut that was wrong on more than one piece. And so I had to step back and go, okay, let me remeasure this stuff here. What did I do? And I had just, filled in the blank as to what I thought it was, not what it was written. So that happens. So I am very excited about this. My quilt will be up for auction when the whole charity quilt along is done. I've been doing mine for auction along with Kimberly's, and there's usually 1 or 2 others that are up for auction. So it is all very exciting, and I think these fabrics will just be so beautiful in somebody's home. Maybe yours, maybe your home. Okay, now we have Sewcialites. We're going to go back to the other side and talk about that, and then wrap up. In the Sewcialites, we are getting down to the wire this week, and which is our second to the last block. Block number 23 is by my wonderful friend Andy Knowlton. Look at that. Look how awesome that is. So pretty. Okay, I have a little surprise for you. Back over my shoulder. Over in Facebook, the Fat Quarter Shop has a Sewcialites group where people are just sharing Sewcialites. No other quilts, no other blocks, no other conversation. It's specific just to this quilt along. And they did for, I think both 1 and 2 are all in the same group over there. And so no matter where you are in the process, you can come and share. Well, there is a file in the photo folder. You go to the photos, there's a folder of variations of layouts to use these blocks. And I was innocently on Facebook, and our ambassador Barbara shared this over to me and the other ambassadors, saying, look at this layout. So first let me pop up their layout. Let me tell you who this layout is by. It is a team effort. There were 3 people who worked on it. The original idea was by Sonia Cotton. Then there were some modifications by David Thomas. And then ultimately Sarah Yofa went ahead and did the final layout and directions and put it up there. Now you can see in their picture they have a little bitty sashing between each of the blocks to separate them so that they're not touching each other like I have up here. So I commented on it, and so Sarah, it was just absolutely fabulous, and would they mind if I used it? And they're like, no, that's what it's here for. So there are other really incredible layouts. One is a strawberry, so like if you're going to do this all in like reds, oh my goodness, these blocks. So anyways, here we go. My version of the butterfly at this point, just using the parts that I already have from the original star layout that comes with the Sewcialites project. So let me get the other camera and look at it straight on. So we have one more block still that will go there. So the butterfly, now what their pattern has is that you wouldn't have, these are all quarter square blocks that I already had for the other layout, see? And on the bottom ones, they're, to get the image of the body, they would make this white as well. So I will have to make, and I like that concept, rather than it trailing down, which is fine, but it looks nicer when those are white, see, like that. So I will remake this one and that one so that they're just one square of it is blue. And then what I did, I already have all of this. So I don't think I'm going to put sashing. I think I'm just going to set, I will rearrange and play with the blocks after we do the last one, and I will set everything side by side. And then I thought I will also go ahead, and I just took a half square triangle. No, these were quarter square. Sorry, these were quarter square triangle that I just folded up. I'm thinking I will do one with, I'm going to do these with just one blue. I will do two of them for just one red, and that'll be the bottom border, so that I can extend out and make sort of tips on the ends of the two butterflies. So mine will be side by side, which is a little different than their layout. I will just be using, and I'm doing 6-inch blocks. What I like is this gives me a fabulous size that I can hang in my home. And it's clever and creative, and I just am giving a huge shout out to that team who came up and worked together to put together an amazing layout for all of us to borrow. Thank you, everybody. Isn't that exciting? This is quilting at its very best. When those of you who are working together, sewing together on a project, come up with a fun idea, you share it with everybody, and people take it and they maybe make a modification and come back with another one. This is the best of quilting, especially when you're working online with people. It is awesome. Okay, and before we go, I did 2 more of my tulips, so now I have 4 completed ones. Thank you, everybody, for being here. This was a jam-packed day, and I appreciate your time and appreciate you coming and sewing with me. So I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you